Many years ago, I performed some portfolio analysis in which I was able to show a correlation between the size of a project based on cost and time and the number of change requests that we received. It was clear that the bigger the project, the more likely it was to have one, if not several, change requests. I knew I was onto something, but I couldn't quite grasp the why. Well, I'm glad to say that finally someone delivered the aha moment that I've been waiting for. Enter Bent Flyvbjerg and Dan Gardner with the book How Big Things Get Done. At Powering ProjeX, we champion the growth of project people, empowering every subscriber to lead with distinction, drive impactful outcomes, and turn vision into victory. Through sharp insights, inspiring stories, and energetic conversations, we will celebrate the exceptional people who transform industries and build a better world. Welcome to the Powering ProjeX podcast, where we explore the strategies, stories, and insights that make projects thrive. I'm your host, DK. Before we kick off, if you want to join a community that puts your career first, gain global connections, cutting-edge skills, and hear from voices just like yours who are shaping the project management industry, subscribe to the podcast now. Today I want to share something that's genuinely exciting. I just finished reading How Big Things Get Done by Bent Flyvbjerg and Dan Gardner, and I highly recommend it to you too. You know that feeling when you've been circling around a truth for years, getting glimpses of it, but never quite grasping the full picture? That's exactly what happened to me with this book. It was one of those books that makes you sit up and think, aha, I knew it, but I couldn't quite articulate it as well as these guys. Many years ago, I ran some portfolio analysis that revealed what felt like a universal truth. The bigger the project, the harder they fall. Or in our case, the more often they change and even fail. I could see the pattern quite clearly in the data. There was something about the size of the scope, the complexity, the cost, and the duration that was killing these initiatives. It seemed tied to our understanding of what needed to be done and, sadly, how rushed we'd been during the scoping and business casing process, which led to bad planning and estimation. But here's the thing. I knew I was onto something, but my understanding was shallow. I had identified the what, but I hadn't done the hard work to understand why. Why do big projects fail with such predictable regularity? And more importantly, what can we learn and apply to change these outcomes? Well, Flyvbjerg and Gardner have done the next level of analysis for us. This book is the culmination of decades of rigorous research examining thousands of projects across industries and continents. They've taken what many of us have observed as anecdotal and given it the statistical backbone it deserves. The insights are both validating and humbling. Humbling because, yes, the patterns that we've all witnessed are real and measurable. Humbling because the solutions require us to fundamentally rethink how we approach both small and large-scale initiatives. If you've lived through project war stories, and let's be honest, who in this field hasn't, and you want to understand not just what went wrong, but why it was almost inevitable, then this book is for you. And thankfully, the authors don't just present problems, they provide a roadmap for doing things better. They present concepts like thinking from right to left and talk you through the biases that impact good planning as well as fallacies and the traps that we fall into. But what I loved most was the concept of reference class data and how we can build it and use it to validate the accuracy of our planning and estimations. This concept alone is a game changer for any business or enterprise. It confirmed for me that organisations have the tools to improve their planning and estimation accuracy. They just don't capture and store it correctly for future use. Hence, if you're not using your own historical project data or industry reference data to improve your project planning and accuracy, you're doing yourself a disservice, and I highly recommend that you make it a priority. And if you want to learn more about this, stay tuned for an interview with Professor Paul Boudreau, who can give us all a few pro tips on how AI can help with this exact issue. The book also speaks to concepts of real experience, its many guises, and how it helps assure project success rates. I must say, once again, I agree wholeheartedly with the advice and guidance presented in the book. Last tip, read all the way to the end. There's a list of heuristics that distill their research into actionable principles, and that alone is worth the price of the book. Before I wrap up, I want to give a shout out to John Simon for recommending the book to me. Sometimes the best insights come from the recommendations of thoughtful colleagues who know exactly what you need to read next. And that's it for today. Have you read How Big Things Get Done? What resonated with you? Drop me a line. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep powering those projects from vision to victory, especially after reading this. I'm DK signing out. The content provided in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute professional, legal, or financial advice. The opinions expressed by the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organisations or sponsors. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information on project management methodologies and related topics, no guarantee is made regarding the completeness, accuracy, or applicability of the content to your specific circumstances. Listeners are encouraged to consult with qualified professionals before making decisions based on the information shared in this podcast. The hosts, guests, and producers are not liable for any losses, damages, or outcomes resulting from the use of this podcast's content. By listening to this podcast, you agree to assume all risks associated with the application of the information provided. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you'll find value in our discussions.